Now at 9, snow is overtaking most of the four-state area. Most of us is seeing some type of snow at this point in time. We're going to break this all down for you.
Plus, how the McDonald County School District is handling the incoming winter storm.
President Biden meets with Democrats at the White House with a major fight over the debt ceiling ahead. I'm Rich Edson in Washington. Plus, what we're learning about classified documents found at former Vice President Mike Pence's home. That's next.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Snow is already starting to blanket parts of the four states, and we go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Caddy with the first look at the weather.
Yeah, we've had light showers most of the day and then a slow transition over to snow. Just about everybody's over to snow now. Only had a high of 39. We have backed down to right about freezing, and where the snow is going to be a little bit heavier, southwestern Missouri, a winter storm warning into Arkansas, also includes Delaware County. Where the snow is going to be a little bit lighter on the Kansas, Oklahoma side, a winter weather advisory, where snowfall amounts will be less. But you can see the rain most of the day now. Snow has overtaken the entire region. Where you see these darker blues, that is moderate snow, and you can see these darker blues starting to lift north. So the intensity of the snow will start to pick up a bit as we go through the next couple hours. Temperatures hovering right above freezing, so this is going to help us out, meaning the roads aren't going to just be a blanket of snow. It's going to be slushy accumulations. We're going to break down how long this is going to last and how much we're going to get here in just a bit.
Meteorologist Sam Lane is live from Anderson, Missouri, observing the accumulating snowfall. Sam?
All right, Jalen, we are down in Anderson, Missouri in McDonald County, and it's snowing, of course, as you can see, pretty good here in Anderson. And we're talking with Daniel Crutchfield of the McDonald County Sheriff's Office tonight. Daniel, what's it been like out there so far, and what are you advising people to do tonight?
Well, as you notice, it's just beginning to come down.
Right.
So, but as we were talking here a little bit ago, we see that conditions are going to deteriorate as we progress. So we encourage everyone, if you don't have to be out, don't. If you are, be smart about it. The roads down here, most people down here know how the roads go here, as windy as they are. We encourage, watch your speed, of course.
Yeah.
If you are in a crash, try to make yourself safe. Call it into troop, and we'll get troopers down to help you out.
Okay, very good. Yeah, and like you said, here in McDonald County, it's very hilly, so speed is definitely a factor when the road conditions are bad. Right now, the roads here in Anderson are just wet. We're not seeing any accumulation except for maybe on some of the vehicles. I'm looking around, and you can see some accumulation on some of the grassy surfaces and cars. But right now, as of right now, here in McDonald County, the roads are just wet, but are still passable and not experiencing any traffic problems. But of course, that could change as we go into the overnight hours. And of course, Doug will have more information on that. Back to you in the studio there in Joplin.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Sam. One school district in southwest Missouri dismissed early today ahead of the expected snowfall. KOAM's Carrie Worthen was in Pineville this afternoon to find out how the county's preparing.
With winter weather on the way, McDonald County school leaders want to keep students, faculty, and staff all safe.
Our school district is a little different than other ones in the area because we cover such a wide range of not only miles but also terrain. There's 420 some odd miles of school district that we cover.
They're not the only ones preparing. The MoDOT office in Anderson is making sure all 10 of its trucks are ready for anything that comes, with salt trucks out to take care of the roads.
We watch our local TV stations and consult with some local forecasters as well to see what is expected. We'll drive routes to make sure that that they're safe, and if there's any kind of a situation where there's unsafe conditions, they'll call school.
School officials meet about 4 a.m. to decide if it's safe to have school.
We have close to 300 kids that travel to the high school by car, and so we want to make sure that they get home as well, because a lot of them are coming from rural areas too. So there's all kinds of factors that go into making sure that we get these kids home safely and these students home safely.
In McDonald County, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
To look at closings in the area, head over to KOAMnewsnow.com/closings. You can also watch the KOAM News at 9 and 10 to see the closings. Authorities in Cherokee County, Kansas yesterday arrested a juvenile wanted for homicide out of Georgia. The suspect was wanted out of Henry County for felony murder, homicide by vehicle in first degree, and attempting to elude police and felony theft. Officers found the suspect in a home in Baxter Springs and arrested him after 3 hours of asking him to come out. Authorities are waiting to extradite the suspect back to Georgia. A woman at the house was also arrested. The Joplin Chamber of Commerce today hosted its 30th annual Business Expo. Nearly 110 exhibitors were on hand at Downstream Casino Resort. Today was focused on connecting businesses with each other. Tomorrow will give consumers a chance to check out those businesses.
To come out and connect with members of the community so they can educate those individuals on the different resources and services that are provided in the 4 states area. And it's also a great opportunity for business-to-business relationship building.
The theme for this year's expo is Find Your Treasure in Joplin. Expo marks the spot. It will be open to the public tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Some Southeast Kansas future business leaders had a chance to showcase their skills today. The Girard High School Future Business Leaders of America hosted a competition at Pitt State. 330 students from 18 schools competed in a wide variety of business-related and workplace events, and some students got a jump start.
We have a list of competencies that we want to make sure that they understand, and then a lot of that comes with experience. It comes easier for some students than others, but those students that are uncomfortable in this situation are the ones that are most important, that we encourage them to do something like this, even if it's just to dip your toe in the water for 1 year and do one event.
Each category of the competition had a different winner. The competition wrapped up with an awards ceremony this afternoon. President Biden invited congressional leaders from his party to the White House today to strategize about their top priorities. The showdown over the debt limit is looming in Congress, with Republicans in the House adamant about spending cuts. Plus, we're now learning documents containing classified markings were discovered at the home of former Vice President Mike Pence. Fox News senior national correspondent Rich Edson reports from Washington.
I'm excited about the leadership we have here on the Democratic side.
President Biden hosted top congressional Democrats at the White House Tuesday for a strategy session.
We got a lot done in the last couple of years, and we got a lot more to do, a lot more to finish what we've already done.
Republicans control one chamber of Congress, meaning Democrats' top agenda items will likely stall for the next 2 years. One area where they'll need to find cooperation, raising the debt limit to avoid a default.
A default means interest rates will spike on everything, from car loans to credit cards to mortgages.
Conservatives on Capitol Hill are demanding significant spending cuts.
Our debt is intergenerational theft. We are digging a hole so deep for our children, for our grandchildren, and they'll never be able to get out of it.
And to my House GOP colleagues, if you're serious about spending cuts, show us the math.
Meanwhile, with criticism over President Biden's handling of classified documents, Fox News is now learning documents that appear to have classified markings were discovered at former Vice President Mike Pence's house in Indiana. In a letter to the National Archives, Pence's representative wrote the vice president was unaware of their existence and, quote, stands ready and willing to cooperate fully with the National Archives and any appropriate inquiry.
I don't believe for a minute that Mike Pence is trying to intentionally compromise national security. I think that about Biden and Trump, but clearly we've got a problem here.
The FBI and Justice Department are reviewing the documents. In Washington, Rich Edson, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another 4-state hero. Gary Reed served in the U.S. Army from 1968 to 1970. The Joplin native earned a parachute wing, a Purple Heart, and 2 Bronze Stars. We're proud to salute Staff Sergeant Gary Reed, the 4-state hero. Coming up, a proposed change to the COVID vaccination schedule.
After 3 years of pandemic, federal health officials are proposing a big change to the COVID-19 vaccination process. I'm David Lee Miller in New York. The details coming up.
The official meeting isn't until Thursday, but doctors and the general public are already weighing in on the new FDA proposal to make COVID boosters an annual event like the flu shot. Fox News correspondent David Lee Miller has more from New York City.
A new FDA plan could mean getting COVID and flu vaccines when the weather gets cold. Federal health officials unveiling the proposal on Monday, seeking to transform the COVID-19 vaccine process into an annual event like the flu shot, instead of getting boosters targeted to specific strains that could be out of date by the time the shots are available.
Now it's easier for you because you don't have to worry if it's Moderna, if it's Pfizer, which ones you had before. So accessibility is going to be easier.
But the prospect of throwing away those vaccine cards might not be enough to win over a skeptical public. Only about 16% of eligible Americans have gotten the latest booster since it became available back in August. And doctors say a big public relations push will be needed in order to sell the new program.
Unfortunately, uptake of the vaccine has been poor. So it is time for a strategy switch because what we're doing now is not working very well.
The idea of an annual booster is being welcomed by most healthcare workers. Many say they're burned out after 3 years of pandemic, and they're hoping this COVID containment plan will reduce the overall strain on the healthcare system.
We lost so many healthcare workers during the pandemic. People are exhausted. They're still reeling from the effects of seeing so many people in their care die.
The FDA's Independent Vaccine Advisory Panel is set to meet on Thursday to discuss the proposal. In New York, David Lee Miller, Fox News.
Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, the Colgan Panthers look to stay perfect as they take on league rival, the Frontenac Raiders.
Well, it's definitely turned out to be kind of a crummy day for us today. The rain picking up during the afternoon. Now we have switched all over to snow across the entire four-state area, and that's what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours tonight. You can see it on our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort falling at this point in time. So we had rain, then our atmosphere cooled a little bit, and you can see there's still a little bit of rain in our far northern counties and a little bit down toward Tulsa. Everybody else is snow. And where you see these darker bands of snow, that is moderate snow, and that's the snow that will really accumulate. Mainly light snow from Pittsburgh to Joplin, a little bit heavier Carthage, a little bit heavier in Neosho. Miami, it's starting to pick up. So around the metro, light to moderate snow. A couple little moderate bands near Iola, Yates Center, Fredonia, Independence. A little bit lighter out toward Erie and also Parsons. Well, look at this, how it really picks up northeast Oklahoma, Nowata, Bonita, down toward Jay, just south of Grand Lake, much heavier amounts of snow. Light snow along the I-49 corridor, Nevada, Lamar, over towards Stockton. And then once you get to the I-44 corridor, you jump back to moderate snow, Mount Vernon, Monette, Aurora, Cassville, Pineville, Anderson, Benton County starting to pick up. Most of the roads are just wet, but they are going to start to get slushy with temperatures hanging out right around 32 degrees. So be careful if you are going to be on the roads tonight, but you can see those bands of moderate to heavier snow, which are lifting into the region. Very classic comma shape to this storm system, and it's going to work right on through during the overnight hours tonight. So snow, chances high, and then after about 3 a.m., they'll slowly start to taper off as by morning, I think we'll be back down near flurries. But you can see our temperatures, 33-ish. That is cold enough to accumulate on the roadways, but again, it's going to be slushiness. And this is what we're looking at, 7th and Range. I kind of moved it just so you can see the snow falling outside. Currently sitting at 33, north winds at about 8. Of course, our humidity is up there, 92%. All right, heaviest snow looks to be from about 10 p.m. until about 2 a.m. So this is when we're going to have mainly moderate snow across the region. Here's 2 a.m., here's 3 a.m. It starts just back to light snow, starts to break up by 6 a.m., and then mainly just flurries throughout the morning hours. So it's not going to last forever, which is why we're not going to get a ton of snow, but I do think we're going to have some accumulations, especially grassy surfaces. Kansas, Oklahoma, 1, 2, 3, closer to 3 once you get to I-44. I think the metro, 2 or 3, maybe 4. We'll go with 3. A little bit heavier in southwest Missouri, kind of 4 to 5-ish, and then about 6 inches once you get over toward Branson. So not a huge snow, but still some problems. Because it is a wet snow, it will be a slushy snow. We'll make our impacts moderate on the roadways. Not worried about ice, not really worried about cold. It's not getting bitterly cold. And the wind, yeah, it gets a little breezy for us tomorrow, but not too bad. So once we get rid of this, then we just have clouds and kind of flurries sticking around most of the day. We hang into the upper 30s. Here's your day planner, high temp, 37 for you tomorrow. More systems to watch. Thursday looks okay, Friday looks okay. Rain over to snow on Saturday and Sunday. Another storm system, rain over to snow next Tuesday and Wednesday. I want you to glance at the high temperature 10 days from now, high 16. That Arctic air I've been talking about, it's coming.
Yeah, it doesn't look too pretty then, but I know that there's a lot of students around the area that's pretty excited about tomorrow with a lot of school cancellations.
I don't know. We'll see because it's going to be slushy on the roads.
That's
we'll
fair.
See.
All right, thank you, Doug.
Yep.
Coming up, a hearing on Capitol Hill over concert tickets.
A Taylor Swift ticketing debacle now part of a congressional hearing. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington. What we learned from executives from Ticketmaster as they were grilled by lawmakers.
The executives of Live Nation, the parent company of Ticketmaster, were on Capitol Hill today. They were there to talk about what went wrong with the Taylor Swift concert ticket sale last year and why some say it's not getting better. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with more.
There's bad blood between Taylor Swift fans, musicians, lawmakers, and those running Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster ought to look in the mirror and say, I'm the problem. It's me.
Lawmakers dropped lyrics and questions in the Senate Judiciary Committee Tuesday. Millions of angry and ticketless fans prompted the hearing after Ticketmaster's sale of Swift concert tickets in November ended in disaster.
It's time for a change.
The CEO of Live Nation, which merged with Ticketmaster and controls a majority of ticket sales in the U.S., says they were overrun with bots, despite a $1 billion investment to combat them.
We knew bots would attack that on sale and planned accordingly. We were then hit with 3 times the amount of bot traffic that we'd ever experienced.
The other complaint, tickets are either resold at astronomical prices or so laden down with fees that going to a concert is out of reach for many.
We truly do not see Live Nation as the enemy. They're just the largest player in a game that feels stacked against us as artists and often our fans as well.
The game, some lawmakers see it as a monopoly, because if someone buys a ticket from a second-hand seller, the person must still sign up with Ticketmaster to get their seats.
You're forcing them to become your customer in order to take possession of this ticket. But I have to tell you, from a competition standpoint, this really, really worries me.
Ticketmaster is facing a class action lawsuit from jilted Swift fans. Live Nation is under an antitrust investigation by the Justice Department. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Up next, it's National Peanut Butter Day. We'll learn why the popular spread is worth celebrating. Today is National Peanut Butter Day. It falls every January 24th, according to the National Day calendar. The website says the early Incas and Aztecs created the first peanut butter, although it was more like a paste and not like the creamy, smooth stuff we have today. Other cultures considered peanuts animals' feed until the late 1800s. Thanks to several inventions, modern peanut butter went public in 1904 at the Universal Exposition in St. Louis. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. We'll get an in-depth look at what a day in the life of a Joplin firefighter looks like, plus how the Joplin School Board is taking steps to give students a bigger voice in their decisions. A crash in southeast Kansas claims the life of a woman, a baby, and injures 2 others. The head-on crash happened on US 400 yesterday night, about 4 miles west of US 59 in Labette County, Kansas. Authorities say 30-year-old Valerie Montgomery of Parsons was driving west on US 400 when she went left of center and hit another car head-on. Her and the baby in the car died from the crash. The baby was less than a year old. 2 people in the other car were injured. One suffered minor injuries and the two others suffered a suspected serious injury. There were 3 minors in that car as well, but there is no word on injuries. Do you ever wonder what it's like to be a firefighter? KOAM's Amber Jenkins spent the day with the Joplin Fire Department to show us what it's like.
Clocking into work as a firefighter means checking equipment. After all, your life may depend on it later in your shift.
I think every day is different because we never know what we're getting into. That's what I like about it. The routine kind of gets a little bit the same. You come in, you put your stuff on the truck, you check your med bags.
Checking equipment includes testing the ladder, repairing switchboards, storing ice melt for the coming snow,
right here, I'm the guy that ordered it.
and filling the tank.
We live at the fire station, so we have bedrooms, we have bunk rooms, we have laundry services that we wash and dry and clean our clothes.
If there's a job you would like to see a snippet of, let us know by contacting KOAM's Amber Jenkins Facebook page. The Joplin School Board of Education voted unanimously to add a Joplin High School student as a student advisor to the board. KOAM's Shagun Bomdali was at the board meeting and has more.
In order to hear the concerns of students around the district, the Joplin Schools Board of Education formally adopted a policy that will give students a voice.
We made a formal adoption, second reading of a policy to add a student representative to the Board of Education, a student advisor, if you will. And so starting this month and all months thereafter, we will have a student at the table at all of our board meetings.
The superintendent says the model or policy has worked in other districts.
And then what we did is we looked at several different types of policies that were kind of model policies where school districts had some success with this type of program. And so we looked at those, and then we come up with a policy ourselves and sent it to our policy service, and they sent us back edits and rewrites.
Abigail Eckert, a junior at the Joplin High School, is the new student representative.
I guess I'm just excited to be this student representative on the board in order to express student concerns and then help in the decision making within the board and report to the board and report back to the school.
Abigail says she is excited and happy to start a new role.
So when I was chosen, it was within our Student Council Executive Board, and I was very excited about the new opportunity. And then I got a little nervous because it is a big responsibility, sitting at the table, being all professional. But I think altogether, I'm just really excited to get this started and see where it goes.
Reporting in Joplin, Shagmam Dele, KOAM News.
The position will be held from January 1st to December 31st. And a bit later, the possible future of the meat industry.
Lab-grown meats could be the protein of the future. I'm Jackie Ibanez with a look at the unique products and when you may be able to buy them at your local supermarket. All that straight ahead.
Well, of course, we are watching the snow pick up across the region after light rain through most of the afternoon into the evening hours, and now we've switched all over to light snow. The thing that's going to help us out the most here are the temperatures. We have a lack of cold air. I mean, it's cold, but temperatures hovering right around freezing. That means you get a lot of melting as it comes down, so that does help us out just a bit. But look at the snow. It has overtaken all the rain. Still a little bit of rain once you get up toward Kansas City. I also want you to notice these darker blues. That's moderate snow, and this is all kind of rotating north. So our snow intensities will start to pick up as we go through the next few hours. So let's go ahead and zoom in through the metro. Light snow in Pittsburgh, down through Cherokee County. It's picking up just to the west of Miami. Neosho, on that stretch of 49, Joplin, Neosho picking up just a little bit. So we do have pockets of moderate snow across the region. Most of this is light, southeastern Kansas, and then it really picks up once you get to Veneta, Grand Lake, J, Oklahoma. Then you hit light snow again, Nevada, Stockton, Greenfield, all the way down to Carthage, and then it starts picking up Mount Vernon, Aurora, Monette, Cassville, Pineville, Anderson, down into Bentonville. And this is going to be on top of us for the next several hours. This is the backside of the storm. It's got to rotate all the way through, and it's going to take most of the night to do it. Ahead of it, a lot of severe weather down through Louisiana and parts of Mississippi, and this storm system will be long gone by tomorrow morning. So snow chances stay high the next several hours and then trend downward by the time we head into the morning hours. Again, this helps us on the roads. Most of the roads are wet, but there are at least some sections becoming a little bit snow-packed, so be careful if you are going to be out there. So far here in Joplin, you can see the parking lot's wet, but snowfall, we've already picked up a quarter to half an inch of very wet snow around the metro. 33 north winds, 5 to 10. Humidity is at 92%. I do think we're going to have a few more problems on the roads once the intensity of the snow picks up a little bit. So here's midnight. Pockets of moderate snow across the region lasting until about 3 o'clock in the morning, and then from 3 to 6 a.m. we go to light snow and then down to flurries by 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, but flurries will stick around through the morning hours. How much snow are we going to get? Again, most of this on the grassy surfaces, elevated surfaces, overpasses, but some roads are going to be slushy. 1 to 3, Kansas, Oklahoma. I do think once you get into the metro closer to 3, maybe some 4s in southwestern Missouri, northwest Arkansas, and then 6, 7, 8 once you get a little bit farther east toward Branson. So impacts, I'm going to keep road impacts due to snow moderate, not high because we are going to have a lot of slushiness. No worries of ice. It's not that cold. And the winds, yeah, it's going to be a little bit breezy tomorrow, but we'll be able to handle it. We're going to have the clouds stick around all day long, on and off flurries throughout the day by the noon hour, sitting into the upper 30s with still some flurries kind of kicking around. 36 by noon, 37 by 5, high temp, 37 degrees. And we have plenty of chances for more rain and snow in the forecast Saturday into Sunday. I've been hinting at this Arctic air returning next Tuesday, Wednesday, another storm. We're looking at a high 16 next Friday. So we have plenty of chances of wintry weather if this wet snow is not giving you your snow fix.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a up and down, up and down, up and down, and we just got to hunker down until all this passes over the next week or so.
Yeah, we still got some winter to go.
All right, all right. Sounds good. Thank you, Doug.
Yep.
Chinese researchers believe the Earth's inner core may have reversed its rotation. The researchers analyzed seismic waves created by earthquakes as they passed through the planet along similar paths since the 1960s. They found the inner core's rotation stopped between 2009 and 2020 and may have even reversed direction. The researchers believe such a reversal generally takes place every 7 decades, give or take. Coming up in sports, the Colgan girls aim to stay undefeated in a conference matchup with Frontenac, plus a career milestone for one of the best wrestlers in Southeast Kansas. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The St. Mary's Colgan girls basketball team is off to an 11-0 start and ranked number 2 in the state in Class 2A. Now, over the weekend, the Panthers won the Tony Dubray Classic in Liberal. Tonight, back to CNC action with a big one at home against Frontenac. Panthers up 15 at half, but Frontenac starts chipping away. Mia Brown drives baseline, lays it off the glass. She scores 11 for the Raiders. Then Hattie Pyle working inside. Knocks it home. Pyle also with 11. Frontenac gets it to single digits. But Colgan never let him back in it. Panthers go inside to Lily Brown. Easy 2. Brown leads the Panthers with 20. Lauren Torrance on the far side. One dribble, jumper good. 14 tonight for Torrance. Colgan gets the lead back to 13 going to the fourth. Final quarter. Brown leads the break, gets it to Mariah Harris. Colgan gets to 12-0 tonight, beating Frontenac 56-41. To the boys' game now, Frontenac trying to earn the split on the road. The Raiders get it done, pulling away from the Panthers and winning by 20, 64-44. The Missouri Southern Lions split a doubleheader last night with the Lincoln Blue Tigers. On the women's side, the Lions led from start to finish, beating Lincoln 84-45. Last night's win, the 5th straight for the Lions, and puts them at 17-4 overall this season. 4 players were in double figures for Southern, with Lacey Stokes scoring a team-high 15. Sophomore Haley Grant also came up big for the Lions. She finished with 11 points and 7 rebounds and really was aggressive getting to the rim all night.
I thought Haley did a really good job on both ends. Rebounding the basketball, she went and attacked, boxed out which we have trouble sometimes doing, but boxed out and then went and got rebounds, which was huge. And then offensively, she's been being more aggressive with each game over the last couple weeks, and we're going to need that out of her. And what I liked about tonight was she was able to finish.
Especially with them being smaller and me having like the size advantage, I try to get to the rim. I'm not the best shooter, so I try and switch it up a little bit.
If she didn't finish, she got fouled and got to the free throw line, which, that's been something this year we've been talking about. We need to get to the free throw line more. And tonight we did a much better job of attacking the rim, getting fouled, and getting to the free throw line.
On the men's side last night, the Lions erased a 15-point deficit against Lincoln, but came up a little short in the end, 84-82. All 5 starters were in double figures, led by Christian Bundy, his 17 points. Now, rebounding really was the difference in the game. The Blue Tigers out-rebounded Southern 37-18 and scored 20 second-chance points.
We were supposed to keep them off the glass, off the rebounds. They had 16 of them, so we obviously didn't do that. And so it's kind of where our game plan fell out because they missed 28 shots, I think Coach told us, and they had 16 offensive rebounds, which is a lot of extra possessions. But we just got to be tough. Like I've been saying, toughness is going to win games the rest of them, because now we're circling back. We're playing teams we've already played, so it's more so not so much game plan, but just toughness. Whoever the tougher team is that night, they're going to win that game. Simple as that.
The Columbus High School girls wrestling team has been one of the best in the state all season long. The Titans are ranked 3rd in the state as a team. They've got 5 girls ranked individually in their respective weight classes. Now, Columbus wrestling at home tonight against the Independence Bulldogs. Now, here we go. At 140 pounds, Katie Simpson going to work for the Titans, shoots and gets 2 on the takedown. Then Simpson trying to finish this thing off, and she would. Simpson gets the win by fall late in the first period. Now 155 now, Gracie Major gets the nice takedown here. She would also finish off her match and win by fall. Columbus in control of this one all night. A great one here at 170, Taryn Billings for the Titans. She was down 6-2 going to the final period. She battles back and gets a pin to win it, but this night, it was all about Addie Saporito, the Columbus senior, ranked 3rd in the state at 120 pounds. She won her match by fall tonight, and that win was number 100 in her high school career. Columbus wins big, and Saporito becomes the first girls wrestler in Columbus history to reach 100 career wins.
I knew it was like one of my goals at the beginning of the season, so I've been counting down. It means a lot. It's kind of my goal to make history and to be something that younger girls can look up to. So we have a lot to still accomplish this year, and I think it really pushes all of us.
There's so many good girls athletes at Columbus right now. A lot of those girls play softball. Can't wait to see what they do in the spring as well. But first things first. They're ranked 3rd in the state right now as a team, so they got to go finish off the wrestling season first.
Yeah, absolutely. And then 100 of anything is a lot. $100, 100 push-ups, 100 yeses, 100 nos. But to win it something 100 times, I don't think there's a lot of people that can say that. So
Nope.
Congratulations. All right, well, that's it for sports. We'll be back with more news after this. Do you know where your meat comes from? Well, in just a few years, it could be made in a lab instead of a farm. Fox News correspondent Jackie Abanez takes a look at the first FDA-approved lab-cultivated chicken and why the company behind it says it's not just food that tastes good. It's food you can feel good about eating.
Lab-grown meat could soon be coming to a dinner table near you. Officials at California-based Upside Foods say this lab-grown chicken breast doesn't lack the taste of traditional poultry. But how is it made?
It's meat that's grown from real animal cells. So what we do is we take really high quality animal cells from, let's say, a cow or a pig or a chicken or a lobster, and we look for cells that can continue to grow outside the animal in a very robust and a healthy way.
Those animal cells are placed in large steel containers where they're fed a blend of vitamins and minerals. These nutrients help them develop into a product resembling a standard cut of meat.
We didn't have to raise and slaughter a chicken to get real chicken meat.
Because raising livestock contributes to harmful greenhouse gas emissions, researchers hope their products could give people who don't want to go vegan or vegetarian a way to still enjoy real meat without harming the planet.
We want to be able to be in restaurants as well as retails, whether it's a Safeway or a Wegmans or a Tops.
Back in November, the Food and Drug Administration ruled lab-grown chicken from Upside Foods was safe for humans. Now they're waiting for the Department of Agriculture to sign off on their product. Currently, the company is making 400,000 pounds of lab meat a year. Officials say they need to secure more funds to ramp up production so they can sell their meat at market-friendly prices. Upside Foods is aiming to sell lab-grown meat at U.S. restaurants as soon as this year. Their products could hit grocery shelves by 2028. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Coming up, we'll learn about a genius toddler in the UK who became the country's youngest member of Mensa. A lot of people used the COVID lockdown to learn something new, but few accomplished what a talented toddler in the UK managed to pull off. Reporter Ian Lee has that story from London.
Teddy Hobbs just might be the brainiest little boy in Britain. For one, the 4-year-old could count to 100 before he was 2. Now he can do it in 7 languages.
But I just assumed, every child has their own quirk. Each child develops slightly quicker in something else than the other ones, and we just assumed that was his thing.
The clever kid found his love of learning during lockdown, wanting to watch only educational shows.
What are you cutting it out to make?
A shape of Kenya.
His brilliance caught the attention of Mensa,
Has qualified for.
and he became their youngest member in the UK. The High IQ Society only accepts people who score in the 98th percentile or higher on an intelligence test.
So he was 3 years and 7 months, and it said his letter and word recognition was at 8 years and 10 months.
Teddy's impressive report card includes teaching himself to read at 2 years old.
Teddy has done all of this himself. When we go out and we give him the option of a treat, he wants a book rather than chocolate.
Despite being a boy genius, he's still just a boy.
He's absolutely a normal 4-year-old boy. He finds poo really funny.
That's not my bee.
His family wonders if Teddy's younger sister will follow in his footsteps. Those are some big, or rather little, shoes to fill.
Well, that's our time for tonight, and thank you guys so much for joining us. But before you go, I'll leave you with a video of a baby harpy eagle in Brazil. Be safe, and we'll do this all again tomorrow. See you then.